Yakubu hands over to Agbamuche as INEC acting chairman. Supreme Court reserves judgment on Osun local government funds. Workers shut down NLNG Train 7 over tax ID row. And on the foreign scene, military court in DRC convicts 23 over rebel links. Hello, good evening, and welcome to News Updates on Trust TV. I am Dorcas Yakubuzal. And now the news in full. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu has handed over to May Agbamuche as the acting national chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Agbamuche is the oldest serving national commissioner in the electoral body. Professor Yakubu announced this on Tuesday at the ongoing meeting with resident electoral commissioners at the INEC headquarters in Abuja. He solicited the support of the commissioners and directors of the commission for Agbamuche until the appointment of a substantive chairman.
Chairman. Thank you.
Now, the Supreme Court has acknowledged an existing High Court order restraining the United Bank for Africa UBA from releasing Osun State local government allocations to the court-sacked All Progressives Congress APC chairman. The Apex Court made the observation while hearing a suit filed by the Osun State government against the Attorney General of the Federation over the disputed local government funds. During Tuesday's proceedings, the Supreme Court noted the intervention of an Ibadan High Court, which had earlier issued an order barring UBA from paying the local government allocations pending the determination of the substantive case before it. This followed a complaint by counsel to the Osun State government, Musbau Adetunbi-San, who informed the Apex Court that attempts were being made to pay the allocations to the APC camp despite the matter being sub judice. The court satisfied that the High Court had acted to preserve the subject of the case, reaffirmed the need for all parties to maintain the status quo pending judgment.
You know that the letter, which I said is the foundation of the matter before their lordships. We've canvassed argument both left and right. Our contention is that is the letter with which the Federation intervened in the affairs of Osun State. So their lordships will look at the true side, and Almighty God shall bless the wisdom of their lordships.
After 8 months of strike, local government workers in Osun State have returned to work, bringing relief to residents who had feared renewed clashes between supporters of the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party. But contrary to those fears, the atmosphere across council secretariats were calm. Many residents expressed delight that local government services had resumed and urged politicians to maintain the peace. Hamid Oyebade completes the report.
The strike, which began earlier in the year, followed the violent clashes between APC and PDP members over the control of local councils in the state. The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) and the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees (NLNG) had directed workers to stay away from work for their safety. Following the recent release of the withheld local government allocations by the federal government, tensions have eased, even as court cases on the matter continue.
I'm very, very happy to resume because it's been almost 8 months that we have been at home doing nothing. That effort is just like a fruitless effort because I don't know the reason why we are at home. Staying at home, collecting salary without our deductions are there, they are not paying them. We have money in the cooperative not being paid. We have a lot of programs that we want to channel our money into, but we are not unable to do them.
A strike that started from February 17th and not to this moment. This is almost a month. That is why we say enough is enough, that people should go back to work.
At the Olorunda and Oshogbo local government council secretariats in Oshogbo, the state capital, workers were received by the APC political office holders who assured them of safety. The PDP officials, however, stayed away from the council secretariats in line with the directive of Governor Ademola Adeleke.
We resumed at the office today, 6th October 2025. We met the staff of Olorunda local government. They resumed to the office as they promised, which is very interesting, and we love it the way they did.
The council was peaceful because yesterday we see the announcement of the concerned local government workers that said they want to resume. With the help of our chairman and the chairman in the Olorunda government, we welcome them, and all the executive and the legislative welcome them. They resumed peacefully, and they were fully on ground.
We thank God that the atmosphere at Olorunda local government is very peaceful. About 3 days ago, we learned that the workers are going to resume, and they have fully resumed, and everything is very peaceful and very calm. No problem at all.
Residents say they want peace to continue and called on politicians to focus on delivering services to the people. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
Federal High Court sitting in Warri, Delta State, has issued an interim injunction restraining the Inspector General of Police and the Nigeria Police Force from implementing or enforcing the recently announced tinted glass permit policy slated to commence on Monday, October 6, 2025. The order followed a motion filed by John Aipogbu Martins, who sought to stop the police from proceeding with the enforcement of the policy, which he described as unlawful and burdensome to citizens. Delivering the ruling, Justice H.A. Nganjiwa granted an interim injunction restraining the defendant, the Inspector General of Police and the Nigeria Police Force, including their officers, agents, or contractors, from enforcing or further implementing the tinted glass permit policy pending the hearing and determination of the substantive motion before the court. The court also restrained the police and their agents from harassing, stopping, arresting, detaining, or impounding the vehicles of the plaintiff or any other person under the guise of enforcing the said policy. Furthermore, the court granted leave to the plaintiff to serve the originating summons and other court processes on a defendant through substituted means, specifically by FedEx Courier Service. Justice Nganjiwa described the applicant's move to seek judicial intervention as timely and proper, noting that the decision was made after hearing submissions from a legal team led by Kunle Edun San and several other counsel representing the plaintiff. Now, barely 2 weeks after protesting workers at the federal government $10 billion Nigeria liquefied natural gas NLNG Train 7 facility in Bonny Island, Rivers State, returned to work, they have once again barricaded the facility over inability of the management of Daewoo Engineering and Construction Nigeria and Saipem to issue them with tax identification number. The protesting workers, mostly welders and fitters, on Tuesday halted work at the federal government's biggest gas facility to press home their demands. Speaking on behalf of the protesting staff, Utin Wisdom Ifyok and Godwin Oyi, who are pipe fitters with Daewoo, said the reason they are demanding for their tax clearance is that the federal government under President Bola Tinubu has directed that from next year, all Nigerian citizens should ensure that they have their tax clearance. The management of the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas NLNG, Daewoo Engineering and Construction Nigeria, and Saipem are yet to issue a statement on the protest.
Basically, right now we've been held hostage here, and they've not allowed us to exit the camp. In fact, we don't even have accommodation here. We've not eaten since yesterday. Now, all we are demanding for is actually our taxes. They are owning up our taxes whereby we are taxed excessively from our salaries, which in fact NLNG and some other parastatals or bodies are aware. In fact, we appreciate you for being here today to help us spread this thing to Tinubu, because he has made an ultimatum that by next year, all Nigerian citizens should ensure that they have their TCCs, which they will have denied us that opportunity to obtain.
Students affiliated with the National Association of Oduduwa Students braved the early morning rain on Tuesday in Ibadan to protest what they perceive as attempts by Pengassan, Nupeng, and other oil cartels to undermine Nigeria's Dangote refinery. The protesters have vowed to continue their demonstration and plan to picket offices of Nupeng and Pengassan nationwide. Acknowledging the recent alleviation of fuel queue challenges, the students are urging President Bola Tinubu to intervene in the matter. As of press time, the protesters were marching to the Agodi Secretariat Oyo State Government Office to submit a letter to the governor for onward transmission to the president. In other news, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has promised immediate rehabilitation of the State Civil Service Secretariat gutted by fire on Monday evening, describing the incident as unfortunate. Speaking during a visit to the scene on Tuesday to personally assess the level of damage, Governor Fubara expressed gratitude to God that no life was lost, noting that the damage was restricted to a small section of the building. Governor Fubara also commended the State Fire Service firefighters for their prompt response, noting that previous investments made by his administration in the 3 fire service stations proved invaluable in containing the situation.
It's really unfortunate, but we give God all the glory that no life was lost and the damage was on just a section. It's like the secretariat has a crèche that takes care of babies. So I think it's that section that had that was affected by the fire. But there's one thing very important now. We've been talking about the renovation, the refurbishing of our very foremost secretariat. And I believe with this particular incident, there won't be any reason not to continue it anymore. Whatever is required by this government to commence that process, we will immediately swing into action.
And moving on to more stories, the Center for Human and Socio-Economic Rights, CHSR, has strongly condemned what it calls a disgraceful drama of impunity surrounding the investigation and prosecution.
Instead of justice, Nigerians are yet again confronted with a disgraceful drama of impunity, compromise, and abuse of state
both the
power.
Nigeria Police Force and the Lagos State Ministry of Justice.
Now, the police complicity and betrayal of justice.
Tensions have remained
The
high
Nigerian Police
following the tragic incident at the Owode Onirin Motor Spare Parts Market, where several lives were lost in what CHSR described as a coordinated and brutal attack. The rights group has now condemned the release of suspected killers and the controversial bail granted to an alleged land grabber identified as Ariori. CHSR also alleged that families of the deceased were being compelled to pay huge sums of money to retrieve the bodies of their loved ones from state facilities. The organization further criticized the remarks made by certain officials as reckless and misleading, insisting that such comments trivialize the victim's suffering and manipulate public perception to shield powerful interests.
Instead of justice, Nigerians are yet again confronted with a disgraceful drama of impunity, compromise, and abuse of state power. Now on the police complicity and betrayal of justice. The Nigerian police force, rather than upholding its constitutional duty to protect life and property, has once again choosing the path of cover-up and selective justice. As the 3 policemen involved in the killing, there are 4 policemen involved in the killing were whisked away to Abuja instead of being tried in Lagos, where the crime occurred. The transfer is nothing but an orchestrated attempt to shield them from public scrutiny and deny the victims' family justice.
One of the major factors fueling the rising cases of jungle justice in Nigeria is a growing loss of confidence in the judicial system, as many Nigerians no longer believe that justice is fair or timely. With the worsening economic hardship across the country, some legal practitioners have linked the disturbing trend to economic hardship and the failure of the judiciary to effectively address the menace. The report.
Mob justice, commonly known as jungle justice, continues to claim lives across Nigeria. In many communities, angry mobs take the law into their own hands rather than report crimes to the police. Often suspected thieves or criminals caught in the act face instant and brutal punishments. This practice reflects the deep mistrust many Nigerians have in the country's justice system. Some believe that reporting suspects to the police is futile, as many alleged offenders are released within hours or days, often after bribing their ways to freedom. Court processes offer little relief, as delays and prolonged trials further weaken public confidence, thereby fueling mob justice.
I think jungle justice is primarily a result of the rot in the system. Because one, people no longer have confidence in the system, most especially the law. People feel that if one who has wronged the society, who has committed maybe an offense or a crime, is caught and handed over to the authorities, it takes a few days just for you to see that same person walking the street.
My advice to community is individually have to know what is right and what is wrong. What you know that to do someone do to you is not good, don't do to another person. Just be fair and truthful for yourself and the community that you live. You get.
There's a lot of ignorance, in the country, and a lot of people, take laws into their hands. So it's important that on issues that people are not well informed, they seek for, advice and information on those issues. Now, most of our people, because they are ignorant, and they feel that they have that impression that the court system is slow. So that's exactly sometimes why they engage in jungle justice. You discover that in many of the communities that we stay in, because a lot of people don't have that patience to go through the court system, they tend to take laws into their hands, which I am totally against.
The provision of the Nigerian Constitution is that section 1 subsection 3, that if any law is inconsistent with the provisions of the Constitution, to the extent of this Constitution, the provision is not and void. As a matter of fact, there is no law for jungle justice. In addition, there is no proper education, that there is no reason for jungle justice.
Jungle justice carries devastating consequences, as innocent people have been wrongly accused and killed due to mistaken identity or false allegations. Until Nigerians strengthen its justice system and tackles corruption within law enforcement, many communities will continue to see jungle justice as a quick, though dangerous path to justice.
And now in business, the central bank governor, Olayemi Cardoso, says both the inflation and foreign exchange market rate has stabilized. Speaking in Uyo on Tuesday during a Central Bank of Nigeria fair with the theme Driving Alternative Payment Channels as Tools for Financial Inclusion, Growth and Accelerated Economic Development, Cardoso attributed the stability to the bank's policies on sustainable economic growth and development of the country. Cardoso, who was represented by the Acting Director, Corporate Communications Department, CBN, Hakama Sidi Ali, stated that the fair was designed to sensitize the public on how the bank's policies can enhance their lives and livelihood and contribute to the growth and development of the economy. Cardoso mentioned that the exchange rate unification policy has reduced its volatility in the foreign exchange market and cleared over $7 billion of verified backlogs of forex forwards. The governor explained that the bank recapitalization policy has strengthened the resilience and global competitiveness of the banking sector and positioned it to support the $1 trillion economy. The branch controller, CBN Uyo Njideka Nwabuku, said the fair was timely and significant as it will enable the CBN to engage directly with customers and stakeholders in the state and receive valuable feedback that would help in improving service delivery and policy implementation. And now away from Nigeria, the Benny Garrison Military Court handed down its verdict on Monday evening after 2 weeks of an intense trial in a case of collaboration with the Allied Democratic Forces. The trial marks a turning point in the fight against terrorism in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. 23 people received sentences ranging from 5 to 20 years of penal servitude. They were convicted on charges of participation in an insurrectionary movement, criminal conspiracy, as well as financing and carrying out acts of terrorism. Civil society welcomed this decision, even though appeals remain possible. And in sports, 4 of Nigeria's top football administrators have been appointed to key FIFA standing committees. With the appointment, President of the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, Ibrahim Musa Gusau, has joined the FIFA Men's Club Competitions Committee. It is the body responsible for shaping the structure and governance of global club tournaments. Gusau replaced Amaju Pinnick as NFF president in October 2022. The others who got appointments include Aisha Falode, who has landed a seat on the FIFA Media and Communications Committee, Abdul Hakim Mustafa San, who is now in the Anti-Racism and Anti-Discrimination Committee. Pinnick has also been reappointed as Deputy Chair of the FIFA Men's National Teams Competitions Committee. And that's a wrap on News Updates. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms for more programs, news and documentaries. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. Thank you for watching.